Hi everybody, you're with Good for the Game TV. We're live for this pre-match betting preview of South Africa up against Argentina. That's taking place in Durban. My guest will be popping in just a couple of minutes' time. I had a few technical issues. Can you believe it? Couldn't get the email link through to them, but I can see are appearing in the bottom right of the screen now. Hey, Henrik, how's it? How are you?
Cool.
Good to see you guys. Maybe I should just explain the outfit quickly. I'm going to miss quite a bit of the game. My daughter's debutante's ball at our high school tonight. So I had to make sure I was fully dressed because I've got to charge straight out of this for photos. And then we're racing to the venue, which I'm pleased to say is like a wedding venue type of thing. So I'll definitely be able to watch a little bit of the game. But I'll have my pants down well before that. So I don't normally dress like this for the show. But guys, excitement building. We'll obviously talk about the Bok game now, but perhaps let's wrap up the earlier game. It was Australia against New Zealand in Sydney. I only caught the second half, and what a second half it was by the All Blacks. Henrik, starting with you, when they play like that, it's really hard to do anything against them, isn't it?
Yeah, firstly, congrats to Hein. He had a very good game. He called the game perfectly at the plus on the first half, and he had the halftime, full-time at, I think, 6-1, if I remember correct, Australia, New Zealand. Yeah, Australia looked good in the early parts, but they just couldn't use the opportunities to get tries. All Blacks defence held, and then in the second half, it's a bit of a bloodbath there.
And Hein, just to bring you in there, I saw your post on the Good for the Game forum. I mean, you took a number of bets on that game, and it looks like most of them arrived. You fancied a strong start by Australia, and then, like others, like Southpaw on the forum, you also thought that New Zealand would kick clear in the second half. There were lots of guys on the New Zealand second half handicap. So you're going into this one with a fair degree of confidence.
Yes, Brent, I don't know. I just had a good feeling about that game, about the outcome and how it was going to play out for Aussies really being charged up for it and giving it their all. And I actually got a bit lucky with the Bowden Barrett conversion there towards the end of the first half. So the halftime, full-time was in running, but obviously the nice one was the halftime handicap, which I said was my biggest play. And then I saw on Good for the Game, the forum, there was a second half handicap, which I think South pointed out, and I thought that was great because as I said, on Thursday evening, I just thought that these All Blacks are dangerous in those killer moments, and that's what they proved. But again, the highlights are going to show the tries, but the set phases, I mean, the Aussies, they're going to come nowhere if they can't scrum and they can't line out. And the line out was chaos for them.
Yeah, they certainly you can't take on New Zealand without being strong in the set pieces. And Henrik, just a message from the Oracle, who's obviously watching. I think he's at the ground. I'm not too sure, but he's messaged and he said, "Where's the baby, Henrik?"
Yeah, my wife's trying to keep both of them in the room, and I'm hearing the 2-year-old is throwing a bit of a tantrum because he wants to come to me. So she's got her hands full at the moment.
I'm sure she does. You may hear a bit of noise on my side as well. Guests are starting to arrive for photo shoots, and my daughter's dad's talking betting with a few guys on YouTube, so that should be an interesting one. Oracle does confirm he's at home. I didn't realize that. I thought he was actually at the ground today. But guys, let's move on then to South Africa up against Argentina in Durban. Henrik, I'll stay with you. The handicap appears to be moving towards Argentina. There was plus 15.5, even some plus 16.5 on Argentina. And if I'm reading correctly, are we sitting at around the 14.5 mark now?
Yes, I saw. Well, it was 16.5 when we spoke on Thursday evening, and I see it settled about 14.5 at the moment. I would still take the 14.5. I took some of the 16.5, but I would still take the 14.5 as well. And yeah, South Africa by 1 to 12 isn't a bad option either if you would like a better price. I just feel South Africa might leak a bit of points. I think Argentina might score about 2 tries, and then they always kick at goal when they get penalties. And Sanchez is a pretty good goal kicker, and Boffelli can kick the long-range shots. They always take the 3 points when it's on offer. So I think they can get a few points and they can stay within the handicap.
And Hein, what do you think of this one? You with the handicap move, or do you think now it's starting to offer a little bit of value on the box?
Brent, just on that, you were asking about Oracle being at home there. I asked a mate of mine who's at the game, and I said, listen, our conditions, and send me a pic. And he sent me a picture of the leaderboard of the beer pong competition there in the outer fields or something. So I don't know, he's got bugger all to do with the weather. So my informant isn't doing his job as he should be. But no, apparently he says it's pretty clear at the moment. It's still cloudy, but it's not raining, and I don't think it's too soggy. But still, I was actually hoping for it to be a bit wet underfoot and be a bit heavy. And maybe switching into a little bit of what Hendrik is saying there is that I just don't see a lot of tries. The Argentines are going to kick at goal. I think the Boks aren't going to be as adventurous in this first game. Pollard, he likes to go for goal as well. So I think that might be a way to go, especially maybe not on the points, but on the tries. That could be somewhere to focus.
Yeah, I see the try line's been set at around about 6.5, and I would be leaning unders as well. Like Johan, I was almost hoping for damp conditions, a typical Durban humid conditions. I must say, looking at the weather and from the likes of Oracle, it does appear as though conditions are good. I did watch, I was jumping between the Currie Cup game last night and the Sharks game against Bordeaux at the Moses Mahiba Stadium. And that stadium cut up badly underfoot. And clearly there was a bit of rain in the week. But, you never know. Is it just maybe the stadium that's a bit poor, the drainage, or are conditions going to be a bit wet? And Hendrik, you'll remember, I think I predicted this line. I pretty much asked you on Thursday night on our show. I said 52.5 points. Are you over or under? You were over then. What do you think now? You on the fence? You coming under, or are you going to stick to your guns?
Yeah, I'm not sure. Well done. You called that perfectly, the 52.5. I said over then. I'm not as confident as I were on Thursday night. I still like Argentina overs, and I grabbed some 17.5. I took over 17.5 points for Argentina. With Sunbet, I see it has moved to 18.5. Yeah, like I said, I think they can maybe get 2 tries and maybe a few penalties. I would rather take the overs on Argentina than the overs on the total points.
Right, over. So you've got 17.5. I must say, I did see that earlier, so I didn't take it at the time. I do see it's gone 18.5 now, and generally 18.5. Han, anything for you on the points front at this stage besides the tries, or are you gonna find some other markets for us, some other value?
No, again, I'm pretty much sticking to the tries. So it's under 6.5 tries there for me at 5 to 6 with World Sports Betting. I don't know if there's a better price somewhere, but 6.5 is where I'm going. Even if Hendrik says I know Argentina might get 2, I don't think the Boks will get more than 4. So that should still work. And then something that also kicks into the tries is at GBets. It's no try to be scored. I know Hendrik, I think, was on this one in the final as well, or in some markets sometime was under 11.5 minutes for the first try, so I'm going to go on that. I think it might be a bit tactical to start off with. I don't see either of the teams getting a very early score, so no try to be scored in the first 11.5 minutes at 17 to 20.
I actually took that as well, and I took it small, but I took it as well for this game.
Guys, we had a question from Mr. Meeseeks on Twitter. He's quite new to punting. And he was saying just on the winning margins, you get the bookies price winning margins, for example, Boks 11 to 20 inclusive, and then you get Boks 21 to 30. He's saying, would you advise, if he likes a winning margin, would you advise that you place 2 bets there? Or do you think it's better just to put your head down and hope to hit the one? I'll start with you. What do you think?
Well, yeah, I mean, I'm usually a bit of a more risky kind of guy, so I'd go all in on one of the 2, especially if it's the margin is the 11. You're getting 10 points. I mean, if you're not going to shoot 10 points correctly, then you shouldn't be winning that one. So I'm actually quite firm on the Boks by 11 to 20. I like that. As I've said, like the whole week, I think the Boks have enough in hand to win this one, but they won't streak away. So I think the downside, if you were going to go there for some backup, it would be on the smaller margin. And then, as Hendrik says, perhaps you have to decide between Boks by 1 to 12 might be a better option for you. But yeah, I think 11 to 20 is a good one, and I wouldn't take anything else.
And Hendrik, that's the market that you would play. You got any advice from Mr. Meeseeks there?
Yeah, I always, if I go for that kind of market, I will also go just for the one, because if you take the Australia-New Zealand game as an example, I would have, if I took 2, I would have taken the 1 to 10 and the 11 to 20, and I would have been wrong on both because I expected a close game on Australia. And then both your bets lose. So I would just go for the 1. The 10 points is a pretty big margin. So so I would rather go for 1 than go 2.
Yeah, I'm with you guys on that. For example, if I liked South Africa, if I was going to take that strategy on South Africa, and I was going to take the 21 to 30 and the 11 to 20, I'd probably rather just take the minus 15.5 or even one of the additional handicaps, because I don't like to get my money done twice. It's one thing to pick a speculative bet and lose it. But just for those who are keen to know, South Africa 11 to 20 is 5 to 2. And if you think they're going to win by 21 to 30 points, you can get 7 to 2 on that. Gents, just to finish off, I guess, a look at the try scorers markets. I saw Malcolm Marks there, 14 to 10 to score a try at any time. It's a little bit shorter than I was hoping for, I must say. But Hanji, that guy, he's going to be at the back of some rolling balls. And he's, quite frankly, the kind of guy who pops up in open play as well. What do you think? 11-1 first try scorer, and I think he's 7-1 that he's first South African try scorer.
I actually had a little bit think about that after the fact this morning, because I also had a few, and I enjoy having a go at those. Was on one in the Currie Cup last night as well, which unfortunately didn't come in. So I do like that market, especially when you think there are going to be a couple of tries around. But as I said, since I'm going for not a lot to be scored, I can't really be throwing a lot of money at try scores, since I'm not hoping for tries in any case. And then in terms of marks, that's for going for a rolling maul, and I'm not sure, we're going to be able to bully the Argentines quite as much to go for that rolling maul. So yes, there's a decent opportunity, but not as firm as I'd be with him playing for the Lions and up against the Australian team. And Warren Whiteley's always kicking for the corner, so you shouldn't be expecting the same odds for something like that, because it shouldn't happen quite as often. So I don't know, there's not a lot of value for me at 14-10, definitely as the anytime try scorer. But yes, if you're going to have a go, the first time try scorer is probably a decent punt.
At 11-1, Hendrik, anything? Those are sort of markets that appeal to you. I see Southpaw as a matter of interest went for Esterhuizen, and I think I saw there's probably around 9-2 or 11-2 that he scores the first try. Southpaw actually had a spread bet, which unfortunately you wouldn't get in this country, the particular spread bet he took. But what do you think of a little speculator there? Perhaps if you're not too firm on any of the other bets.
Yeah, I'm not big on try scorer markets. I don't bet on that a lot. But I thought, what about Andre Pollard? Because like South said, he said like the centers and Sanchez for Argentina, they're not that physically defensive. And Pollard is quite a physical 10, and he plays close to the gain line. So yeah, he's not a bad option for me to go for any time, the try scorer or maybe first try scorer. I would rather take first try scorer for the game than a first try scorer for South Africa. Better value on that, I think.
Right on. I see the bookies even have a last try scorer market, but let's just have a look. First try scorer, I'm just scrolling down. Andre Pollard, 20-1. So there, if you want to have a speculative 100 Rand on the game, take Pollard to score the first try scorer, and you could turn that into 2,000 with a bit of luck pretty quickly. Hendrik,
Brent, if I can just get on that one, I think actually often the last try scorer is something that I like Hendrik was talking about him last night, as well as a guy like Marnus Koeman. If you got him on the bench, a guy like that coming on, he's going to really, really come in and make an impact. So that's a decent market. Like this morning, maybe an RD Sevilla or someone like that coming on. But for the Boks at this stage, of that bench that they have, and especially if you think one of the teams are going to finish strong, like I did this morning with the All Blacks, I would obviously be considering maybe a TJ Paranora or RD Sevilla there to score a last try. In this case, I'm not really seeing Damian Willems coming on. He's probably going to get only a few minutes if he does play. So there's not a lot of value in someone like that. So I'm not really seeing someone jump out at me. So I do like the last try scorer market, but there's just not something that really jumps out of the page at me at this stage.
Okay, no, I agree with you. I think it's not a market that I've looked at, but it certainly has got possibilities, and you can certainly get the subs coming on and scoring late. Gents, I think that's it. Let's just wrap up our best bets on the game, Hendrik.
I'm going to go for a handicap. I think Argentina can stay within us. So yeah, the current line is 14.5, so I'll say plus 14.5 Argentina, best bet.
All right, Hein?
I'm not going to give too much of my profits away from this morning, so I'm just sticking to the 11-20, which was picked. I don't know if Chris did the preview or you did on Good for the Game. 11-20, the Boks to win it. I'm not sure what the odds was, the final odds on that one.
Okay, probably somewhere around 5-2. Well, I've done a bit of an about turn. I'm also not getting too involved in this game, but I do fancy that we may get a few points. One of the things I look at in Durban is humidity levels, and I see humidity levels of 60-odd%. And for me, that's quite low by Durban standards. And I think we may just get some points in this game. So I'm going to have a look and see what the best total points line I can get. But just a small interest for me. Just to mention that Ruan Fourie, our competition winner from the GG Gaming show the other day, has said he's on Argentina plus 16.5. And the form that guy's in at the moment, Hendrik, you could be quite happy that he's in your camp. He's just got to hope that the remaining two legs of my treble come in to win that 10,000 Rand, of course. But gents, great chatting to you. Go and relax, enjoy the rugby. Think of me driving to a venue, listening to SABC commentary, assuming that they even have it on Radio 2000. But I should be there for the second half. Have a good one, and we'll touch sides soon.
Enjoy, Brent. Thank you very much.
Cheers, Ian.
Cheers, guys. Bye.
Bye.
Thanks very much for joining us on the Good for the Game pre-betting show for the big test match between South Africa and Argentina. You can subscribe to all our videos below this one. You don't want to miss them. Next week, of course, we'll have GG Gaming Gone Mad and our flagship show on Thursday night at 9 o'clock, #chatbetting. Thanks very much for joining us and enjoy the game.